Hi, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to the Black Love After Show. On this episode, we'll be clearing down all the many levels of clearing baggage, so stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I think this is a perfect show to start off our Sundays. What do you ladies think about that?
Yes,
for sure.
I agree.
It's all about love. It's all about relationships, and that's something we go through on a daily occurrence, right? Mm-hmm. Well, welcome to the Black Love After Show. I am Taquaila, and I have my lovely co-host with me. I have Zakiyyah to my left, and I also have Raiven.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
So, ladies, tell me your overall thoughts about this week's episode.
I think I love seeing this week's episode because it came from a place of relationships that we all go through, which is like the baggage, the hardships.
Yes.
And then you've seen where it got better and where they actually had a relationship. And you sometimes always want to relate fairy tales with relationships.
Right.
And this was the exact opposite. So I love the realism in it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zakiyyah. How about yourself, Raiven?
I agree with that. I felt the same thing as far as the fantasy of what love is and the maturity and the realism of what love is and the choice to love someone every day.
Right.
In spite of, despite whatever challenges. I thought it was cool.
I totally agree with you, ladies. I think this is why it's my favorite show, because you don't see the fairy tale, and I'm not one of those fairy tale women when it comes to relationships, so it's something that I can actually relate to. I'm more of a realist. So when you see the problems that they're going through, once we'll get into in a second, and how they've overcome or decided to compromise, those are the things that help me get the little tingling in my heart and my feelings, because it's yes, that's it. Yes. That's black love. Just love in general. Yes. Okay, so how about we start off with Mike and Egypt? I feel like it's a lot to kind of unpack with them. So we hear Egypt say that she was single, but then Mike says that she was emotionally unavailable because of the baggage that she's had from previous relationships. So tell me your thoughts on how, number one, if you are self-aware personally, or just, other people that you may have examples from, to be that self-aware to know your baggage, and how do you go about fixing it?
I believe that we all, well, for myself, I know my baggage, but just as Egypt was, it's hard to juggle your baggage and then try to love someone else. So with her, she had so much baggage and been hurt and broken so many times that she wasn't able to trust Mike, which I can completely agree with. Mm-hmm. It takes sitting back and learning yourself. And as she said, she had to have a break with Mike. He was kind of like, I love you. I know I love you, but I need a break because you clearly have some other things going on that you need to deal with. And I think that's what I had to also do, is stop looking for someone else to carry my baggage, but carry it myself and unpack my own baggage and place it in the proper places and organize my life.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I thought it was really kudos to him for really standing by her and help and wanting to be there with her during that healing process. I don't think personally, in my personal life, I know of any man that has expressed love in that way.
To be so vulnerable. He brought tears to my eyes. I was like, oh, yes, I'm glad Egypt didn't mess that up. To be so vulnerable to say, just let me love you.
Yes.
Just let me love you. That would have broke all my marbles at that point. I'd be like, okay, we're going to lay everything by the wayside down, because that's it right there. Because that's essentially, I think we as women want a man to be that vulnerable, to have that vulnerability for us when we need it, but also just to be that loving too. There was a moment where Egypt is saying, I don't know, intentionally or unintentionally, but that she was the one to make him just fights with everything. She was like, he'd be like, let's go out to eat. And she was like, well, I don't want to eat there. Just picking little fights because of those things. So at what point, and if you don't mind, your own personal lives, just any scenario where you felt, you knew you were self-sabotaging a relationship, a position, or whatever, and then you had to check yourself to get on the other side of that, and how did that come along?
Well, real deep. We gotta put it all out there, but I know for sure.
You can sugarcoat it.
Right. For sure, I've definitely been there. For me, I was in a relationship and we were trying to take it slow. And I was kind of like, I've done this before. I've been here before. I don't want to take it slow. Like, if that's the case, then we shouldn't even talk. And I knew that I needed to take it slow because I needed that healing and also to get to know that person on a more serious level. But because I was broken so many times from taking it slow, I put that on someone else, and now in the results I don't even have that relationship. So it's great that she still has her relationship, but I understand like being so hard on someone that you kind of push them away, and then you kind of reflect back and you're upset of how you reacted and want to see if it would go somewhere else. But for her, obviously it did. But, you know, in my situation, who knows? Because she didn't know. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And I think for me right now in my current situation, I'm more learning because I was single for so long. You know, you don't have a reflection.
Yeah.
So I'm learning stuff now where it's like, ugh, I didn't know that was still an issue. Or I didn't even know that was a thing for me still, like from so many years ago. So now it's the healing process of that. I'm pretty good at apologizing and trying to be a better version of myself. That's pretty much how I am naturally. Right. So I'm okay with it, but it is a real slap in the face to see, like, I need to go back. I thought I was okay.
Well, you want to play my psychologist for a second, because I've been single for a while, right? So I've cleared out all my baggage. Thank you, Jesus, helping me out on that. So now I'm trying to get back into the dating world, or however, whatever. But at the point where you're trying to get out of your own way, because at first I know if it's something that I don't like, I don't want, I'm going to speak up about it. And if we can find a compromise, great, because I really am about compromise. But if not, I'm like, okay, it's a done deal, and then we'll find another fish out in the sea somewhere. Yeah. But when you said that mirror is up in your face now, I'm kind of excited because of the growth that I'm proud I've done personally. I want to know when I do have that mirror to my face, how I will react. Will I revert back to the old me, or will I be now sensitive enough and mature enough to say, okay, this is what I was trying to overcome or grow out of, and now I have this person saying, hey, XYZ is not cool, or it's not making me happy, or let's change this. Did you have any of those points within yourself?
I have a guy who initially, because it was a shock to me, I have been so used to dealing with myself by myself.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
I'm in the same boat.
Okay, good.
I'm hopping on too.
Sometimes he would say like, okay, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. Are you okay? Yeah. He said, okay, you got 24 hours. And then I want to know what's really up.
I like
that. And so it forced me, because I'm really interested in this guy. It forced me to be like, okay, this is uncomfortable. Yeah. But here we go. You know? And some days you don't get it right. I'm also a parent, so I feel like it's the same. Some days I get it right, and right off the bat. And then some days I have to reflect and say, you know what? That wasn't cool. Like what I did, I'm sorry, that wasn't cool. You know, and then I try to be better after that. But if you have the right partner and you already sound like you're a reflective type of person, then you'll be fine. It's the right partner that's sensitive enough to go through that process, because he won't be perfect either.
That's true. So, okay. Yeah, that's very true.
I think
kudos to that. Thank you.
Right. I think that point, like, he's not perfect, and it takes the right partner, because as we seen with Mike in Egypt, like, she in her mind said Mike isn't perfect. It's not her standard.
Right.
And then it took for him to be vulnerable and allow and say, hey, you let go of this baggage and be vulnerable too. And I think it takes two people to actually come to that realization in order to begin a relationship and to begin a marriage and start loving one another genuinely.
And also, I was just really in love with Mike for this show, because he just allowed Egypt the process. They did have a little breakup, and she said even they were going to get married, and they called off, was it a week? They called off the wedding a week before, and it was a destination wedding with Jeremiah. I was like, I would have been embarrassed. I probably would have went through with it just because to honestly to save face and money, because we have spent all of that, and so have all of our family and friends and everything. But then counseling afterwards, or when we got back from honeymooning or something, to be on that level. But kudos to them in that manner for actually saying the wedding's off for however long it needed to be. I don't know too many of us that could actually do that.
No.
And then secondly, what is a year or two later, then they ended up getting married. And they both felt that it was the right time during that time.
Right.
So I just love them as a couple for breaking down and sharing with us their thoughts and how they're growing as a couple still. And they just had a baby as well. So congratulations on that. They did. She might be like 6 months, 7 months, maybe even a year. But yeah,
that's a new baby. Yes. That's a new baby.
Okay, can we move on to one of, I think, everybody's going to be my favorite. I'm going to say it like 50 times during this show. Okay. So let me just give everybody and the viewers a warning. David and Tamela.
Okay.
So funny.
What are your thoughts on that couple? Yes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, they're so cute. Oh. And the fact that they were friends, like, this is my homegirl, and the fact that she was there for his first childbirth.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but if I was feeling, well, I guess since they were friends first, but if I was feeling a man and he was having his first child, would I be there for his first child's birth? I don't know. That's a lot.
She was doing all type of things as a friend, but she liked him the whole way.
Right. So so personally, knowing that I still had feelings for this guy, I don't know if I would have been like, no, I don't want to see it. Like, I love children and I love that you're happy, but I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because your feelings, your heart's just like a little. I'll spill some of my own tea for a little bit. I have friends with some male friends, and some of them have gone through that, and I've been there for a couple of their first children's, their weddings, their baby showers, and some of the births, and it is genuinely a friendship. Just that's like, good. Girls chatted up and talking and everything, as long as, of course, the wife approves, and most of them, they've been around. Some of my male friends have been around since middle school. So when they met their wives, they know that this is the sister of the group. She's not more than, anything else, or somebody you don't have to worry about. And over time, I've proved myself. But I have had a friend who was there. Straight friends at first. Yeah. Over time, we grew up because he's seen that I was there and vice versa. And then we tried to make more than friends. I was stuck because I'm like, so if I date this friend of mine or do anything sexually with this friend of mine, I'm going to lose a whole live friend that I actually love, that I actually care about. And not only him, if I can't talk to him, that means I can't talk to his family, and I love and care about them too, right? And then you have the other side where he does have a child, and then you're like, oh shoot.
Yes.
And I was one of those friends, and I was there, like you said, congratulatory and happy and excited for him, but at the same time my feelings were like got in the way, and sadly the friendship dismantled because of that. So but that's what I was about to ask. That's a really slippery place, but I adore them because for me, I do feel like in order for me to be as vulnerable as need to be to continue to have a successful marriage, in my mind is success, I need to be your friend, and I need you need to be my friend as well.
Completely agree. And it's going to take that, just taking that pride down. And I'm so bad at that, but I am not going to lie. Yeah. But it really takes like taking yourself out of the situation. This isn't about you.
Right. It definitely.
Because that child had nothing to do with her. And I commend Tamela because she took herself out of that situation. This is you and your firstborn. This is a serious situation, regardless if you're going to be with her or not. I'm here for you and this baby because I love you as a friend first. So I commend her, but woo, baby.
Yeah. It was a couple of ride or dies. Like, I don't know.
And she even ended up becoming the peacemaker between David and his child's mother. So I was like, that's huge for them too. But
men are so special sometimes. It's like, she's right there. Your woman is right there.
Yeah. What do you think about? So they're friends all this time, and then they're gray area as well because they both are attracted to each other. They both like and love each other on essentially one level or another. So they date and they want to be together, but Tamela is already engaged.
Ooh.
That was great.
In her words, she said that he asked would I marry him, and I said yes. But it was over the phone, so I guess it don't count if it's over the phone. We'll side with Tamela at that.
Exactly.
How would you feel if roles were turned and you were David in his shoes? How would you feel in that process?
He couldn't feel anyway because at the end of the day, he was already out here, she was out here, and like they said, they were friends. So I feel like he couldn't feel any way, just like she couldn't feel any way when he was having his first child. So
because I got the impression that she would not have been with other people if he were ready. It was him. That's the impression I got, that she was ready. She knew she liked him from jump, but didn't he say he had his pimp player card or something?
Yes, he did.
He did. And I also think that too, at first I was just side-eyeing Tamela, like, first of all, girlfriend, okay, take you to the king on that one, all right? We're going to have to take you on that one.
They repented.
Yeah, they have, and now they have a beautiful family, and they're still married after so long. But I just thought, first of all, it was like a girl code something. I was like, kudos. That's how you do. If you back in the day when I was about the game of relationship, I was like, that's how you do it, right? Make one say yes by saying I have an engagement, so what you gonna do? But then I kind of felt bad for whoever this other person was, because you're engaged, and I wonder for how long it was. And did you already tell people? You know how engagements now, the second thing, first you say yes, the second thing is on social media. Good thing we didn't have it back. They didn't have it back then. But is it a week or so before she then says no? And like,
she said she told him when he came back.
And then how does that go? Because I'm pretty sure he knew David was a friend, and they say he's just a friend. Ooh, baby, you know how that goes. So I was just wondering about all of that.
Yeah.
Well, before we continue on, I do want to give you guys some insight and how you can continue to comment with us, like, and subscribe. So I'll give it over to Zakiyyah to give us some more information.
Yes, guys, we love what we do. Absolutely love it. We love sitting here and speaking with you about Black love. In order for us to grow, we need your help. So please go onto our iTunes, give us 5 stars, go onto YouTube and give us a few thumbs ups, and then keep watching us, because we're going to keep staying here and giving you what we call the ESPN of TV talk, because that's exactly what it is.
Definitely. Yes. Thank you, Zakiyyah, for giving all of our viewers ways to keep in contact and to come in and hang out with us on Sundays or Monday through Saturday as well, whenever you decide to watch. So let's transition into Justin and Joy.
I love them.
Why?
So
why do you love them? Why do you care? Yeah, let me know.
Because they met in college. They just remind me so much of my first love in college. So everything about their entire situation, from him just being the player, from her being madly in love with him, but now needed to take time for herself, like everything about them. So it's just their relationship reflects a lot of what I've been through with my first love.
Yes.
So I just think it's so cute.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It was. She was another ride or die.
Yes,
definitely.
If I don't eat, she didn't eat. I was like, these women were serious about their love.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's a key factor through it all, though, too, is that when you actually are looking for genuine, authentic love, you have cleared out all your baggage, you've dealt with yourself in whatever ways you needed to, and you start being open and honest. I think those are the two things that make some of us scared about being in love, that when you get that honest and truthful with yourself, it comes naturally.
It does.
Go ahead, Zakiyyah.
I wanted to add this too, which I think was a key factor, because she starts setting standards and boundaries because he was pushing them.
Yes.
And instead of it just being like, okay, I found myself, and now she said, we need a break. And she said, I knew I couldn't push him to, I couldn't be the one to break up with him, but I had to push him to break up with me.
Right.
Because at that point, I needed to set boundaries. And then when they did get back together, she's like, look, we're not going to be together unless we don't have God in our relationship, and unless we pray, and we're getting, like, I want marriage. This is something that needs to be done if we're going to be together. So I think also, like, not being afraid to understand that sometimes you have to let something go, and then when it comes back, you'll know, I guess, that it's for you.
Yeah, and I'm that friend, how she said she realized she was neglecting herself. I'm that friend that's probably telling all my friends, like, you had a life. You were probably too much so. It's because now I have to find that balance in myself in this relationship. Like, you can't have me. I'm my own person. All of that. It's like, okay, chill out, girl. But I appreciated that she understood that about herself, because we do it so much. Women love so fiercely, hard. Man. Yes. So I was like, I was glad they had that time and to find who they were as individuals and bring, like, what I call the Will and Jada kind of love. You're your own person, just sharing a journey with another person.
I think I love their genuineness because Justin was out in these streets doing too much. And Joy didn't know she was even in rotation at first. But just her.
Girl.
Thank you. I want to go find her for Joy, though. I just want to know who she is. Can we get a face to a picture? She's on social media or something.
Her finding out that she spent the night.
That part. Yes. That was the part. She was like, I did not know that. And
she was getting hot.
She was sweating because we might have had to see some knucking bucking on that episode. They probably had to cut it out and show. But if it was me and my boo, I'd be like, really, dude? Really? It'd have been a problem, though. But I do think a key point in all of the couples so far in the series is that their faith is a big part of what brought them together, or that has helped them to overcome some of their, I keep saying baggage, we'll just use baggage, in order to be who their mate needs to be and allow their mate to be who they need them to be. But when they were coming to a point and Joy was on the right side, Justin was on the left, or wherever they were at their respective moments, and it was the thought of them like, we're not going to have sex, we're not stop having sex. That's huge. One, because I think it lets them find a way of empowering their intimacy on different levels and not just sexual, because there are a lot of us that get caught up in sex and we think that is love. And when we mature, we realize that it's not. But then there's also, on the other hand, some of us who are too scared to say, let's stop having sex, because then you think that's going to dismantle the relationship. So how honest do you think you need to be on all terms when it comes to your mate?
Oh, 100%. My personality, I think I turn psycho if I find what I need you to just be open, even if it sounds like it's something you shouldn't say. If you think another woman looks good, say it. Don't. If we're in a conversation, if that comes up for some reason, maybe I thought you were flirting, maybe whatever. If you say something to me like it was nothing, that's gonna piss me off a little bit
because you felt it was something there.
Yes,
instead. Okay,
just you're a human being. You think men don't walk past, and I'm not like, right. You're a human being. If it's in a conversation for some reason, that means it was a problem for me. So I need the honesty and openness. Without that, because now it shuts me down. If the person is not that way, now I don't even know how to move because I'm just used to being open.
Right.
So now I feel like I'm on pause.
Correct. And think of it like this: when you find out something that wasn't the truth later, how do you feel? Like, I completely look at you differently now. There is nothing in my mind that you can tell me at this point, because everything you said from today going back, I believe, is a lie. Now I'm questioning everything that we did. Do you really love me? Are we really in this together? Have you really been faithful? So I think that being open and honest is a must.
Yeah.
But how open, or how would you deal with being, like you said, great space to say we are both human. I might see another man that I think is handsome. It could be no deal. I just think he's handsome. Right. And vice versa. He might see another woman and you're like just out, or you think about it, or just tell you. But when it comes to other advances of being, we'll say in the sexual context, how do you then think you would deal with, if we can put yourselves in the scenario, the shoes of this scenario, with, I don't know, it could be about masturbation, or it could be just about finances, or it could be on how to decide to raise the kids. What do you think the ingredient is to stay on that term of openness, honesty, and then, I guess, compromise?
When I first started dating, the guy I'm dating now, he actually asked me a great question that I had not been asked before. Just in us getting to know each other back and forth, he said, "Is there anything in your life you're embarrassed about?" Ooh. No. Right? Because that will cause you to lie. Sometimes lying is not you're just a liar. It comes from fears and things that you're not ready to expose. So the fact that he asked me that just kind of opened up any conversation after that point.
You almost made me cry with that. Like, you were asking me. I'm like, ooh,
for him, he wants to make sure nothing sneaks up on him that he may find out about my life. You know, because we went to the same high school and, but we connected as adults. Yeah. But so it's like, is there anything? Because we're partners. So I need to know, and we need to work through it. So I think once you start getting over those type of hurdles, and once you become understanding, because again, lying can come from those other places, not because you're just a liar.
Right.
And once you get to know a person in that way, you actually can help them through a moment. Or sometimes I know when not to ask a question. Like, oh, he ain't ready.
It's about reading body language or
energy. Energy. Like he's not in a space where he's going to be honest.
Right.
I already know, because he has to be ready too to accept certain things about himself. I have to be ready to accept things about myself.
That's the part.
I agree. Like understanding your partner to a point where it's like, can we have this conversation now or should we wait? And it's okay to wait. And I have that problem. I'm very impatient. I want to know everything. And I do. It's like, lay it all up on me. Let me figure out if I want to deal with it. Yeah. But if you're in a relationship, it takes time. It takes growth. So just being able to know that I'm not going to know everything about you today. But I'm willing to grow with you and learn who you are and you learn who I am. And then we'll see if this is something that is meant to be.
When you say lay it all out, good segue. One of the things where Kandi and Todd, after they were dating secretively and decided to become out, for lack of a better word, he had to end up giving his career away, or that particular job, not his career, but that particular job, in order to make this relationship work. And as he was saying, his friends were like, yeah, nah, that's not a smart move. And I probably would be that one too, honestly, if a friend came to me like, hey, because you don't know how it's going to work. Like, you would say, go for it.
In my way of thinking.
Okay. Well, he is too then, apparently. His thing is like risk. If there's no reward, if there's no risk, which we see the rewards and the fruits of their labor in life thus far. But how would you deal with something like that? Because I feel like I wish I would have known Kandi's side, because I would feel guilty a little bit.
Okay.
And I don't know if she felt any of those things. So how would you feel if, you started dating your man from work or whatever, and there's no fraternization within the company, or then you decide to, like, how would that work for you two?
I mean, if that was the case, then I would have to know that I'm going to be with this person, or that it was something worth giving up. I personally don't know if I could ever give up my job for someone else.
Right.
But I would really have to be in a place where and you're not going to know, but like it had to be some type of faith that pushed me to be like, okay, this is it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump. But other than that, if it wasn't nothing that pushed me off that ledge, I'm not moving.
Yeah. It has to be a kinetic force, energy that something. Again, it's no guarantee, but in the conversation, we're headed to the same place. We have the same path that we're looking forward to, but it's that thing you can't describe. If it's just like, oh, he is good looking and he wants, no, get out of here.
I'm not leaving.
Exactly. But if it's that thing, like, and I'll tell a little bit of my story, but even though I went to high school with Lorenzo, I didn't know him in high school. We graduated together. Oh. I didn't know him. Oh, wow. We reconnected because of social media. And every time I saw him on social media, I'd be like, oh, I wish he would talk to me. Yeah. I wish he would talk to me. And he would just say random stuff like, Happy Mother's Day. And I'm like, talk to me.
Yeah. You want more.
I have a crush on you. Like, talk. And so eventually one time the happy birthday just went longer. And I was like, you want to talk? And so when I talked to him, because he was not yet in this country, his job is in Germany. He was interested in me too, but wanted to be done with his job so that it wouldn't be long distance. So he was just like, I was hoping you would be single when this was over. So that force was already there.
Yeah.
So if I feel that, I would probably take the risk.
Right.
I can agree with that. I like that, especially the way I'm going to segue to different couples right quick. Mecca and
Michael. I was thinking of the same couple.
Go ahead with your thought process.
I was thinking of the same one because Mecca, she was all on Michael. She was like, I want him. I want you now. Send bikini pics. There we go. Send it. And as soon as she saw him, she was like, yes, I want him. But he was a little more laxed about it and chill. And he's like, okay, like she all right. But until he saw her, it was that force. It was like, okay, now I want you too. I still want to live my life, but I have this interest in you. So your story remind me exactly of their story.
Same here, yeah.
I was like, online? He was online?
And I think MySpace, back in those MySpace days, I was not, whatever. But I guess it's the new Tinder.
Yes.
MySpace,
Right.
Tinder's the new MySpace now. But I also, too, I think that it was for me, and like, which made the connection for me and your story, was they were at church, and that the pastor was giving prophecy to like who wants one, who's going to get one today, and he actually pointed the two of them out and asked him, "Are you going to marry her?" And that to me, I feel like their thoughts were also there, but that third person, that kinetic force, that energy, that, you know, whatever it is, regardless if they knew the actual pastor or not, that was a confirmation for them as well.
Well, also for them too is when she went to his class and she was like right in his class and she said front row,
Red dress.
yes, and she made sure that he saw her. And when they got back together, she's like, okay, maybe he's just gonna be my mentor. But then he held her hand, and that was it for them. I guess that was the start of it.
You know what? Yes, I just got my couples mixed up. I was talking about
The couple before.
Chris and Maddie.
Yes,
Yeah, I was talking
yes.
about Chris and Maddie. Now I'm actually on where we are. Okay, sorry, apologize about all of that. But yes, in her instance, she was making herself known, aware, keeping his eye. And I've also heard that men are attractive, like men are hungered through their eyes, like they're visual beings.
Yes.
So she did exactly what she needed to do to keep herself on his mind.
yes.
And yeah, the bait was there, hook, line, sinker, as we see.
So don't get caught slipping. Make sure you always done up, especially
The moral of the story, yes, definitely. So before we get into more of the episode, we want to go ahead and hand it over to Raiven, who's going to give us some news about Black Love.
Yes.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, guys, we missed the Black Love Summit, but it is annual, and I want you guys. I actually went to it not last year, but the year before, so I got to see Sterling and his wife and the internet couple. Oh, I can't.
I don't think remember names.
Oh, I will say their names next week when I say it. You guys will be like, but I got to see it then, and it was really great. And it was just July 20th. So the producers of the show, a couple, Tommy and Cody Oliver, they do a summit every year. So it was July 20th this year. They bring some of the couples from the show in. They bring just other couples that are not from the show in, and they get to be transparent, and we get to hear everything right there in front of them. And it's really cool because even when I was a part of it, Sterling was just so interactive, and his wife was like, oh Lord, because he's just as energetic as we see him on like social media or anything like that. He's just very energetic and interactive. So if you guys can plan ahead to check that out next year, because I don't want to miss it next year.
I don't either.
I want to be there. I want to get all the Black Love I can get to help me out. So you can visit their website. It's blacklove.com. You can also look it up, and you can Google Black Love Summit. That's it for me.
Thank you for the news, Raiven. And shortly after, we're going to have it to Zakiyyah. She has a Guess Who game for us. So you want to explain a little bit about your special segment.
Okay, so this is it. So it's called Guess Who Couples Edition.
Okay.
So basically, I'm going to give you guys a few facts, and you guys have to guess who the couple is.
Couples from the show or just general celebrity?
General
Oh
couples.
boy, okay.
And don't cheat.
Okay.
Don't be cheating.
I'm not gonna cheat.
Yeah, don't start looking on your phones, Googling. No.
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, we into it. All right. So he got drunk and tried to talk to her with his shirt off, and she turned him down for years because she had a boyfriend. I'll give you guys some time if you can't figure it
Turned him
out.
down for years.
Yes. Let me give you another clue.
Okay.
So she took care of him while he was injured, and then sparks flied after he touched her knee.
Are we sticking with Black Love?
Yes, yes.
David and Tamela?
Nope.
Oh.
Any
Does the name
guesses?
start with a K?
Touched
Nope. All right, let me give you some more clues. Okay,
Kevin
so,
and Melissa.
Nope.
Oh.
You're wrong.
I love the
knee part, I was like, it's them. Okay.
Okay, so she can rock any hairstyle on or off, pun intended. And he attended Oak Park and River Forest High School, where he was the first team All-State player. And he was also the nation's top 30 seniors. That was a lot of information.
The wig on or off made me think of Candy and Todd.
Nope.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh. Are these actors?
Terry and Rebecca.
Nope, and they're not actors. Well, you know what? Okay, one of them, she's an actress. She does do some acting. I'll give you another one.
Okay.
All right. So at one point, he played for the New York Knicks from 2011 to 2015, and she was on Sweet 16.
The Ellises. I can't think of their name.
The Ellises is who I was trying to remember, guys.
No.
Okay.
Who I got to see.
I don't know. Sweet.
So I'll give you another hint. She has a nail salon in Harlem, and he is probably an MVP. But he was definitely an MVP in this little game that they played on GQ, where he knew everything about her.
Nail shopping.
Oh, on GQ. I'm not looking it up. I just was trying to remember that couple's name.
So I'll give you a hint. So the nail shop is called Junie B.
Yes, Tiana.
Yes. Okay. I wasn't sure about that one.
Finally.
One.
I like them as a couple. I love them as a couple.
I love them as a couple.
Yes.
They're so cute.
A couple alert. Maybe they need to be on the Black Love next too. Heads up.
Seriously.
Yeah, that would
get
be
them
great.
On, Cody.
Yes.
Tommy, get
So
them
did
on.
you guys even see their GQ interview? So Tiana was asking Iman all these questions about herself, like what's her favorite movie and how many tattoos she has and everything. And he literally answered every question right to the point where she forgot how many tattoos she had, and he's like, "No, you have this many. Remember?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I just got that one." So they're so cute. I love them.
I haven't watched it. I have it on my Watch Next on my YouTube page.
Please watch it. It's so cute.
Do.
Guys, I'm gonna pull on campaign to get them on Black Love.
Yes,
there we
Sign
go.
this petition.
Well, as always, we thank you for tuning in to our Black Love After Show. Again, I am Taquaila. You can follow me at Taquaila_I am. Raven, where can they find you?
You can find me on all social media platforms, Raven French.
Hi, and I am Zakiyyah, and you can find me at ZakiyyahW_.
And as always, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Sunday at 3 p.m. Have a good week.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.